Welcome to the show, and I have a good time for you today. The shirt almost gives you a clue what's going to happen, doesn't it? We're going to paint stripes. No, we're going to paint a golden sunset. And I've prepared the canvas by putting on a drawing and then thinly going across it with magic white. I need to add just a little more magic white, so we'll dip in with a 1-inch brush, the good old magic white. Isn't that pure and clean? It gives you such a great feeling when you watch it go on. Now that's much more than we'll use, but I like to watch it in its purity. We'll push this around, and then the colors will blend into it in a mysterious and yet not mysterious way, an expected way. Okay, let's go ahead and put that brush down, and we'll go to the palette. I want to show you a couple colors. The first one is a tone that I will put on the entire canvas, which is made up of 2 yellow ochre and 1 deep orange. After I have that on, I'm going to come with a color that is 3 umber, burnt umber, 1 alizarin crimson, and 1 yellow ochre. That'll be for some of the dark trees up close and some of the dark foliage in the distance, very softly in the distance. And then the sunlight and the sun itself, 2 cadmium yellow and 1 yellow ochre. So we'll go ahead and put on the golden tone first. Oh, I love this tone. Now this goes over the whole canvas, and now when I put this on, I'll put a little bit there, a little bit here, just to sort of get a feel of how it thins out. You always check and see how much magic white you have on. Just a well-defined fingerprint. I've seen you in the post office. Well-defined fingerprint, and you'll be able to have the correct use of magic white. Now as I put this on, let's put it across here. I might be a little generous up there. We'll see. The thing about this painting, it doesn't have what you'd call any one strong feature. I think when you first look at the painting, you're going to find the impact of light, the sky, light hitting against those distant trees, but you don't find a lot of detail. This will be an example of, let's say that you're a track coach and you're going out to find a high jumper. In this case, we have found 7 people that can jump 1 foot instead of finding 1 person who can jump 7 feet, because we have all these elements that are important to the whole. Now that joke, I wish I could give you credit who first said that, and I don't remember where I read it, but it's not original with Buck. That's all you need to remember. Okay, now we put the tone on, and it's a little bit uneven, isn't it? That's fine, because we want to put some more on, and now we use the same brush, the same tone, but we'll start pushing it up to represent a little bit of the character of the foliage on the far bank. This is such a beautiful scene. You know where I saw this scene? In Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi. That is the birthplace of Elvis Presley. And it was so funny. I was there, and I went to the museums, and I went and looked around, and then I had a question. They had this church over in the corner of his park. And I said, did Elvis Presley ever attend church there? And the lady says, well, I don't know. It was built 3 years after he died. So that I guess that says something. Maybe he was there. Okay, before I put any darks into the painting, I'm going to go ahead and put the strong light on. This is yellow and white. And we'll put this on. Let's make sure we have a place for it. So I might wipe just a little bit. I did leave a pretty good place there. So we'll put this on very strong. Oh my goodness. I think you're strong, but you're nasty, you're dirty. Let's take that down just a little bit. So we'll come back over to the palette. I see what happened. It picked up just a little bit of its neighbor, its blue neighbor. It's nice to live next to blue bloods, but you have to be cautious. You may pick up some of their habits. Here we have yellow and white, so that's fine. We can mix this right on canvas. Why can't we do it on camera? We can do it right there. Okay, right in there. Ooh, do you see that quantity? Do you think Buck made a mistake? No. You want quantity. We'll be blending this out shortly. Let's just let it set. Before we put any there, I'll grab the same bunny brush, clean it, and the same color. Boy, are we doing a lot of this same color. Put this down through the water, and then we'll be able to put some of the yellow and white right in the path. You know, it's kind of bothersome. If you were just coming on the show right now, you'd say, or if you're just coming in the room, you say, what's it got that big glob up there in the sky? But just patiently, we'll work with it, okay? Okay, straight down, we have light here. There's not a real horizon, because the trees are right there. And then we'll come down over in here like that. I'm going to let that set. That's a little globby too. Now the new color is the one that I was telling you about for the distant trees and also for the near trees. 3 umber, 1 alizarin crimson, 1 yellow ochre. Now when I put this on, this will come down at the lower part of the bank. Ooh, and push that up. Now as we push up, we don't quite touch the sun, do we? Blend it around over in here, blend it back and forth over there. We keep deciding how much we need by how much it blends into what's on the canvas already. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that blend out well? It's sort of dry, which is nice. Nice control on it. The magic white doesn't make it too liquid-like, especially if you watch the amount that you put on. What a tool that is for softening into. We'll let this come down on the water, spread this around, and then just a little bit lower in the right, this is right, on the left corner. And then let's put some on the bank, right in there. You didn't know we had a bank over there, did you? This is called First River Bank. There we are. Elvis Presley put all his money there. Did you know that? Okay, right in here, right down there. And I'll tell you one thing, we may not put money there, but this would certainly be a scene where you'd want to put some time in. I, at this time, will not come down and finish the bank. I'll have a very strong dark there, but I want to make sure that that is blended first. I'll put just a little bit of dark on for the trunk of the tree. We have a strong one that goes here. This is the dominant one. This is the one that jumps 7 feet. So we'll put just a little bit of this on, and I'll be putting some of these branches on. I'm just spending a little extra time here putting some extra branches on, and I've watered down the paint just a little bit, used a little magic clear on it to spread out and thin out the little twiggies. Isn't that nice? Now I will have to go a little dark behind there before we come with the branches lower. This is blue and black, 2 phthalo blue, 1 black and some white. I had the bunny brush. You won't see much of this. When you saw that first picture, you probably thought, gee, I don't see that in there. But see how lightly it's put on? Just put on so it gives a little bit of a change in from all that warmth of the golden tone. So we put this across there, let some come down into the water, and then we'll come across under here, not much, come across in between the branches there, and we'll blend that slightly. Okay, now what we'll do is take, I need to blend the sun area a little bit, the lights, as we said. About the first way I would test this would be with a knife, and we'll see how much we have. Now, when I do this, it's sort of snow plowish, snow plowing without moving any of the snow, just flattening slightly. But you have quantity. That's the reason you're doing it this way. Okay, then I'll take the fan brush, and you're going to blend away, oh boy, well, a little dark cloud in your sky, that never hurt anybody. As long as you can handle a dark cloud, go let it come there, okay? Like they say, it's all right. You bet it's all right. Just get out of there. Okay, we'll blend this around, zigzagging, and the zigzagging softens, and it also narrows it a little bit, so you're really forcing the impact to be down low. I'll brush across that. We had already flattened it with a knife. There's just a slight need for a little bit more flattening because I don't want the ribs on it. Ooh, that's a way to go, son. Now once that's done, then we'll have to decide about bringing the trees up a little bit there. But you can blend this up a little bit more like that, push across. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring the trees up a little bit in that area. I believe I'll use the same bunny brush. And this is the same golden tone that we put on the whole canvas. Okay, now watch. You push up just a little bit. Just enough so it makes the trees appear like they're in front of the sun. To help the glow at the top a little bit, I've chosen to use permanent red into some of the sun colors. So that's yellow and white with a little permanent red. Let's check this over, see how it's going to look. Oh, it's not going to go there. It's going to go over here. It's going to go on top of the golden tone. Just right. Okay. We know where it goes. Right up in here. See how you kind of roll that? It's a little blush. Right on the cheeks. Oh, that's pretty. You look so nice today, Mother Nature. Okay, over on this side, I want to come with just a little bit of feeling of foliage. When I do this, I want it sort of a broken color. So I'm using the fan brush, the same golden tone, 2 ochre and 1 deep orange, and we come up and we'll jab this up there. See how that goes? You're not really showing strong foliage, but it's there. I'll tell you this, there was a art teacher once, he came up to one of his students who was painting a scene out of doors, something like this, and he was painting the leaves, and he painted 10,000. And he told the teacher, that's how many I see. And the teacher took a square inch of paper, put it on one leaf, and he says, now how many leaves do you see while you're looking at that? And he says, oh, about 50. And the teacher says, that's the way you paint it. Because you can't focus on everything at the same time. You have kind of centers of interest. Okay, over on this side now, we've sort of dropped in the foliage before we have any twigs on. And that's the way we chose to do that. So I'll take a little bit of the medium, and we're taking some of our dark color. Now these are very watery. See, you can hardly see those. See how they just thin little branches. And after these are on and set just a little while, we'll take and float a little bit of a blender across them too to further make them very mysterious and accidental. You always consider grace when you do branches. I mean, you say your grace, right? Bless these branches. No, but you have a feeling of flow. That's what I mean by grace. Flow out there. And I'll do more of those during the break, but I want you to see this a little bit. Notice this. I have a little pink on the brush. I hadn't intended that, but why not? Come up to the lines that are there and blend them. This is all reflection from the sun down into the water. Do the same thing here. If for any reason you feel that there's too much paint there, well then flatten it a little bit with a knife. This one I think I could flatten first because it's almost like the sun up above. You put it on and then you blend away. I really like that idea of having a little pink on the brush. That was a nice accident, wasn't it? Okay, put that on. Who's called it an accident? It was a nice happening. Isn't that a great scene? Now we still have some other things to do. I'm going to take the umber and alizarin and ochre again. We'll come down right in there because you're showing the tree in the water and you're getting just a little reflections down with it. I'll be checking further now. Oh, here's be one place. Now that we have the light on there, then we can put this on, and this, look at it, that's the same thing that we used on the trunks of the trees, but now with quantity. See the contrast it makes? And that is visual impact. That's where you will look at very early. Very good support for all the other looseness that happens to be around. We'll put just a little bit of this over into the side, blend it slightly. The total overall blending will be kind of the last thing we'll do, but so we'll build as we go, but we know that it's still to be blended. Okay, now during the break, I'm going to continue with a few little more branches. Then we'll see what else we have to do. But I think we're on path for our golden sunset. I have just a little bit of this darker color that I put there. You're watching what happens out of the corner of your eye as you're doing this. You're watching what's happening there. And if it heightens the action there, then you continue to do it. And heightening the action is by more contrast on the sides. See, more contrast there. So you're really pulling the focus right into there. Let's push this down. I need to be sure and cut that off so you feel like there is a bottom to the tree. Okay, what we will continue to do now will be to accentuate certain areas, and very subtly so. Let me point out one. See, we have the sun against the trees there, but if we make one tree a little stronger here, then that'll make sure that we're going to hold in that area. And then we'll add a couple more branches. We'll put a few lights on the trees, and there's somebody always says, and the birds singing, and the trees there, and the sun shining. Does that sound like Bill Alexander? I love that man. Isn't he great? Okay, let's put a little bit of the foliage on, and what I'm really saying on this is that I'm going to make a couple stronger accents, and we're saying same color, but now when we use it more purely and not thinned out so much, you can make it look darker. I need to have one that points out this way a little bit. So we come over just slightly here. Which way do you go with the branches? Do you go from the outside in, or do you go here to there? I know someone asked me that once. They said, well, the grass grows from the ground up. And I said, yes, but God blesses it from the sky down. So you can go either way. The important thing is that you get the right branch or the right foliage. And in the branch, most often it's going to taper. It's going to be wider at the trunk and taper. The branches are going to be wider and taper as they go out. Now that's true in many cases, but you're going to find some special trees that it doesn't happen. Don't hit yourself, Buck. Okay, let's come up to this area that I spoke of, and this is taken with the umber and alizarin and ochre. Now, when I put this on, it may be a little dark to start with, because I want to make sure that that's what I want as far as position. Okay, that looks good, a little bit on that side. All right, now that I have it in the right spot, because we have the magic white under there, we can soften and it'll be just right. I might choose to use a fan brush, same color, just the corner of the fan. And as I go up with this, let's go just a peak taller than the rest of the trees there. Very good. Did you know you were going to get up there and be the one this morning? So I guess on our 7 people jumping 1 foot, you actually jumped 2 feet because you're a little bit better than the rest there. Not better, but taller. Okay, on the trunks, we now put a little highlight on. I think that the knife would work rather well. Let's choose to take a color. Let's go. This is yellow and white with just a little red in it, so we get sort of a pink. I think I'll take some of the overall tone too. So we're building gradually. That is about the best advice I could give for building lights on rocks or trees, would be to gradually go to the highlight in as far as the amount of lightness on it. And selectively place this on. Now, what do I mean by that? These are the front ones, and they're right close, so you put more on those. I'm not even going to put any on you. Is that okay? As we go across, I'll have to change. I was going to put that on, then I decided I want it on the other side of the knife. And this knife is quite nice because you can make some small little strokes or large ones. Let's make a couple large ones right above that branch. That's a good one. And say that we want just a small one. We can turn this however we want. I think it'd be easier upside down, just like that. See that small little section? That's nice when you got one knife will do both tricks. Or just put less paint on you and it'll do less. Okay, we have this up there, and I think maybe a branch could have some, but not much. Okay, let's take the same color, the overall color that we used here. Well, actually it's several colors. It's yellow and white with a little red and a little bit of the tone in it. But I want some of this down on the lower part of the canvas, right in here. Then you get a feeling like there's a little bit of land. That might be a place that you would like to sit and either look at the ocean or feed the fish. You know how to feed fish, don't you? You just throw them out there and say, come and get it. I flatten that a little bit. You keep watching things, how they relate to each other as you do it. Okay, now in this area, I want to have a little growth on the edge that'll be a little more attractive than it is. So I'm going to use a twiggy brush, a liner brush, affectionately called the twiggy brush. See how watery that is? And then I can make very small strokes. And the nice color, it's the same color, but because you have the medium in it, the magic clear, see the difference? It makes it more golden as we come out. Have some of these go both ways. We'll take, put some more of that on, and you know when you're down lower, you may want to change brushes. This is a fan brush, and I'm going to take this up here. Now the fan brush there has picked up just a little bit of rose color. Look at this. We'll push this down in here. And I think we can use some of the same color as we come over right in the impact place. See, that dark is good, but why don't we put some color interest there too? Discovery color, isn't it? This is a little blunt, so we'll just soften that. You might need a couple little more twigs or grass coming up there too. So this is really coming along. I'll tell you, it's just about time to get out of the sun for a while, and then we'll come back as I said, we're going to do a lot of blending on this, but that looks about what I want right now. So I'll go ahead, maybe with just a little light. Let's come with the sunlight itself. This is yellow and white, and this will go selectively. Here's selectively. One there. Boom. One less there. Do I want any on the side? I sure do. One right there and there. Okay, that's getting the balance that we want. Hey, did you see that beautiful sunset? Welcome back. It's going to be beautiful, isn't it? It is beautiful, isn't it? So are you. Okay, let's put a little pure white. Wow, right up on the sun area. Just ever so gently. And place it in the path. Right there, and right there, and right there. I'll flatten that just slightly with the knife. You don't have to take it down much. I better touch it just a little bit with the brush. It can stay a little textured because now you're representing the sun itself, the actual intensity of the sun. Okay, as we said, we better go around and blend a little bit. We'll take a dry, clean bunny brush, just feather, and you're going to lose some of the structure or the detail as you do this, but some of it will go into the misty stage like that, keeping the focus in the middle. So blend around the sides, blend at the top, blend over to the left side, and be brave, go ahead and blend right across there. Look at that, look what happened there. Blend again. See those rays? Doesn't that come down well? And then I'll blend up across there, which puts a little bit of mystery right at the top of that branch or trunk as it goes off the canvas. Let's take just a little bit here. I'll blend across there. Oh, great! You did it! Way to go, because that little glow is nice. I like that. It was accidental serendipity. Let's take a knife and we'll put just a teeny little bit of light over. This is yellow and white. Over on the right side, because we have to have that right there. Now, I heard a great saying. It says, those who follow the crowd will never be followed by a crowd.